Hey folks, welcome back to Sunset Falls. We're going to go through, do a little bit of cleanup today on some of the things we've accomplished over the past few episodes. And I also want to call out a few kind of helpful tips and tricks that I've learned along the way over the past few months that, I haven't really seen some obvious answers to in some of the other City Skyline community members in their videos. So a lot of this is things that I've kind of seen while watching them, but haven't really understood quite how to do myself. And I want to just kind of clarify that for anyone else who's also been confused on that. So let's take care of a few things right away. We do have our 4-star farm and orchard here. Things are looking great. We are still importing a little bit. I'm assuming this is crops that we're importing, but that does feel kind of nuts because we clearly don't need to. So let's see kind of how this goes with all these crops. I think we're going to get there. The traffic on this road does not seem too bad. We could potentially put in like a dedicated lane here if we really wanted to, but I don't really see this as being an issue yet. So let's kind of keep an eye on this and see what the traffic looks like here. Because what we could potentially do is actually bring a bridge down across here. I actually like that. Let's see if we can make that work. So what I want to do is bring just kind of one of these. We could make this a whole one-way loop, but I don't really want to do that. But I think what we want to do is kind of come across, maybe at this node. Definitely don't do that. Kind of come across flat out here. Get a nice 90 here. And then curve around. Let's actually set this to no pillars. Turn this on. And then connect. Whoa. That's save. Okay. This is actually not going the way I want it to. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up because I think that's going to be better. Because what I really want to do is get them connected here. We want to go this way. So let's bring this up. And again, we can fix a lot of this once we're actually kind of here, but let's bring this down. There we go. And let's connect in, I think right along there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let's go in and fix it because that obviously looks terrible. So first things first, really want to make sure we get that T intersection as much as possible here. And then let's actually kind of pull all this back. I don't know why they're even, what this weird little junction is doing here. Let's wiggle that just a little bit too. We're actually going to hop into node controller really quickly if I can find it. Ooh, it's still a little early there, folks. But we are going to, actually, I think it's intersection marking tool. I might actually be mistaken here because what we want to do is actually remove those crosswalks. So they are there. Maybe I actually have to go back in a node controller. So a little bit early, I'm trying to remember. There we go. Okay, just turn the markings off for everyone. Now we're good to go there. It's still a little bit funky. Maybe I can just reconnect that and see how that goes. Because we want to reconnect here. Okay, that fixed it. Awesome. And we also have that little bridge piece right there. Let's see if we can go in and fix that as well. It's not going to do anything if we do that. That didn't do anything either, really. What if we do that? Okay, significantly better. I'll take that. That's sloped, and we'll turn the markings off there because, again, we have no need for pedestrian crossing in this space, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, so let's go in and fix this. So first things first, would it look comical to make this also a bridge? And that does look pretty nuts, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So let's not do that. We're going to do this instead. Actually, I don't mind that trestle bridge over just this section. But let's kind of look at how this works here, these two nodes, and figure out how high up does this node have to be for us to be able to comfortably clear. And I think right about there looks okay to me. So let's take this node. We want to match to the height over here. How does this look? It looks like the cars have plenty of clearance. There's no clipping. To me, I think that's not too bad. Let's just kind of, there we go, twist that just a little bit more so it's not over the bridge there. And now I think we're okay. So now let's go in and grab this. We're going to go to node controller here. That's a middle node, so we're just fine there. But this node really needs to slope. And then let's actually grab the node and pull it up a little bit too. because we don't want that pillar to be, oh, interesting. Let's grab the pillar itself and just sink that pillar a little bit. There we go. So it's not clipping through the road. This is still a pretty crazy angle here. So let's see, can we slope this at all? Now that actually made it worse, didn't it? So let's go back into node controller here, grab this. Let's make this, I don't want to mess with that too much. I don't think that's actually making it any better. So let's not mess with that too much. Maybe we just have to bring it down, actually down here instead. I think that might just be too tight. And frankly, we're not going to really need any of the traffic coming through here to get over here anyways. So let's not even worry about that. Let's actually, okay, so now knowing that that's the height that we have, let's see how fast we can bring this down. Actually, this might be an opportunity to use another tool. I'm just going to bring this right down here in just a second. But what I want to check out is the gradient of this bridge. So let's actually hop in here. Let's take our smooth slope here and see if we can just kind of detect the gradient. I actually don't know how this works at all. Okay. 19% incline. Yeah, so that's not what we want. So let's actually go back and pull this back a little bit and figure out something a little bit more sustainable here. I think this is still the right junction unless we actually go off this side instead. And then we could potentially put a traffic light in there if we needed to. No, but we're not really changing anything because the whole point is that we want to be able to divert from here. Well, the other thing we could do is potentially go under. Let's see what that would look like. Kind of go just short there and then come back out here. And come out here. That is substantially better. I mean, other than this little part, and I think we can fix that. Let's, oops, just pop under here. Let's pull that up just a little bit. I'm much more okay with that. I mean, again, in real life, I think that would be pretty comical. But conceptually, for the purposes of this design, I think that'll actually work really well here. So let's just throw a little bit, oops, that's not what I want. Throw a little bit of foliage around here. Maybe just some of these like middle size trees. And turn the brush size up just a little bit. Well, that's not really working at all. All right, let's just pop a few down. Just kind of hide this a little bit, you know? Okay. And then let's come back over here. I actually think we want to make this a small roundabout. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just take this. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Move this up just a little bit here. And we may have to get a little bit creative with how the railroad, or the rail rather, is coming through there. But I think we can make this work just fine. We'll actually pull this down to a 30-degree radius. And I'm okay with the 2-lane road because we're going to change it anyways. Let's change this into 1-way, 2-lane industrial. There we go. So then I think this hopefully can plug into here, and let's see how the traffic looks. That's really my only concern at this point, is if that's just not going to be enough space there. It looks like it won't be. So let's see. Well, let's watch it first, right? The other thing is we actually have to set this up as a roundabout. Boom, there we go. And let's see if we can just wiggle this node a little bit to get this to not look so janky. There we go. All right, so let's see how this works. Curious to see what the traffic patterns end up being here. So we'll kind of let this just go a little bit. I don't know why this is set up as a roundabout. Okay, so I guess the default roundabout setup does have them stop when they come up to the roundabout. But I think this is actually going to work okay. We're already seeing traffic on this road, so that does make me feel a little bit better here. And hopefully, yep, so we're seeing a lot of this traffic turn left right here. Great, that's exactly what we wanted to see. Hopefully, that means we'll kind of push a lot of this traffic down here, and this won't become too much of an issue. So, is it super realistic? No. Is there some tearing down here? Yes. Will we fix it just by putting a few trees in front of it? Also yes. Presto. You can't tell. Awesome. Okay, one last thing I want to do over here is I think smooth this out just a little bit because this road looks pretty wonky here, and I'm not quite sure what happened. But let's see what we can do about that. If we switch that out to a bend and we slope it, it's not really going to do too much, is it, huh? All right, I might just have to smooth this out. Let's see what we can do here. It's just these pieces here. Let's see if we can just kind of grab our brush, grab our smooth, turn this up and just smooth this just a little bit. Oh, that might have been a huge mistake. Let's back that up. And actually, let's sink this a little bit, I think, down to like that level, because that is, again, really where we kind of want to see that. And then we could potentially just pull this back a little bit, this tunnel. So let's pull that back. Let's go back over here. We need actually our 2-lane. So we're using that larger size here. Let's grab that, bring that around here. And then we have to connect that up to here, which is actually a lot easier than I expected it would be. I don't love that. Let's pull that back and let's go the other way around actually. Let's go back here. Let's take this. Why does that look like that? Okay, well, let's kind of keep pulling back a little bit. And then we'll go back in here and fix this. All right, so we have this. We're connected over here in just a second. There we go. So now I think we just have to keep going down. There we go. That looks better. What we could do actually is maybe just throw a little bit of rock rubble in this area. I'm trying to get this tree out of the way. Throw a little bit of rock rubble in this area to hide this. So let's pull back on that. This is random rock in the middle of the road. Ugh, I hate that. But this is just like a floating rock here. It's not even. All right. How are we gonna grab this? What's the move here? Move these out of the way. Can I get this? No. All right. We'll just leave it for now. What we can do is happen to find it, grab some rocks, and cover this up. See what we have here. Too small. Let's go find the rocks that we used over in our industry and grab those instead, because I think those will work out perfectly here. Where? Okay, I see. So we have large. Man. Okay, there we go. I always think this is not quite as far over as it is, but it totally is, and that definitely throws me off. So I'm just going to set this down here really quickly, and then I'm going to turn off our day-night cycle so we can actually see what we're doing over here. Let's hop back up to like 3 o'clock. There we go. Okay. So let's grab this again. Oops. Let's grab this again. Maybe try to just get a little bit of rock coverage here. I love these decals. I think they look really, really good. And even though they're kind of, do some funky stuff, once you start putting them at these crazy angles, I still think that they overall get the same idea across. And that's what we're looking for. It's kind of this mountain pass vibe, right? There we go. Honestly, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to come back and notice this. I'm just going to be like, oh, it's kind of a cool spot there. If I was being really comprehensive about this, I'd probably put a bunch of them around, but I'm not, We could have just a little bit over here, maybe. You can throw some kind of down along here. Like you can kind of, make it work in a way that looks natural. But ultimately, at the end of the day, for me, I think the hardcore detailing is maybe not where I spend the majority of my time. So I'm okay with that. So one other thing that I'd like to talk about too, while we're at the farm, is how unemployment and employment work. So this is something I've been thinking about a lot within the context of the city. If you pop open the employment tab right here, you'll see that our unemployment rate is about 5%. That's pretty good, right? Honestly, all things considered. In the game, in real life, 4%. Pretty good, right? I think 3% is considered full employment in the United States, if I remember correctly. And there are a variety of reasons for that, which I will not get into because I'm not an economist. But if you want to know more about full employment, that's definitely something you can look at in terms of the economics of the labor market, right? But at least in the game, right, what we can see is that we have 12,000 roughly people employed, and we have 15,000 jobs available of a population of around 26,000. Quick sidebar there. We are getting so close to Capital City. I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to unlock some awesome new campus areas, some ships. We're going to unlock the cargo harbor, which I'm super excited about. American football stadium. I'm not a big football guy, more of a soccer guy, but you know what? That's okay. I'm sure we can work that in. But so we are seeing this rise. Really excited about that. But what I wanted to point out was how people actually get to these jobs. So I don't know if you all remember this. Way back in the day, when we first opened our prospect mineral industry, we were having the hardest freaking time getting workers into this space, right? You can actually see on some level, we still are having a harder time getting workers into this space. We have like 500 jobs available just here, right? Specifically uneducated workers. So there's one thing that you're going to run into, which is this 195 overeducated workers, right? So you can mostly fix this, to the best of my understanding, with some policies. And it would help if I click on the right button. But there's this policy somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, right here. Industry 4.0, right? This helps, and we're going to enable this everywhere, right? What this helps, I believe, is with regularly zoned industry. So I don't think this will help as much with this specific kind of industry where it's a customized industry that's doing something specific and unique, right? Unique industry. But what it will help with, and I don't know if we actually have any of this anymore, but what it will help with is industry. Oh, interesting. Look at that. We just have no retail that's filled in here. I wonder why that is. That is weird. Huh. All right, we will investigate that further. We might not have any retail buildings that fit within that set. That's my guess of what might be going on. So we'll deal with that another day. But what happens is when you actually go to employ people in these spaces, they have to be able to get there. And that sounds kind of silly, but I want to talk a little bit about how employment is actually calculated in this game, right? So I used to think, like some people, I'm sure, that you were able to get people into these jobs if they just lived close, right? So part of the reason that we actually built out all of Autumn Square here was because I thought, okay, it's taking people too long to get to work, so I have to put them closer because they all live incredibly far away, right? So it turns out that I was mostly right, but I think there's an important clarification here. The deciding factor is how long it takes someone to get to work. And you may say, okay, that's kind of the same thing. And I did actually say something very similar to that. But there's a distinction between these people right here. There's not a ton of public transportation up to the mines, right? We have this bus station, so they can take the bus or they can drive, right? So those are their two options to get all the way up here. However, if you look at something like, if I can find it, our Empire Farms, what we've done here that's so different is we now have this commuter train, right? So this is our freight train, but this is our commuter train. You can see there's 37 passengers this week. You can see kind of the passengers that are coming along this line here. And I think between that and the car infrastructure, that has made all the difference for this leveling up so quickly and us finding so many workers here already. Look at how many workers we have. It's crazy, right? I believe what's happening here is we've just put in some public infrastructure so that it's easier for workers to get here, right? And that's really what matters in this instance. We are seeing a little bit of traffic back up here. This is interesting. We may end up signalizing this. We'll kind of keep an eye on this. That backwards train killing me. But that's really, really important to note, is that you don't necessarily have to have a population center right next to your industry. Look at this. Empire Farms out in the middle of nowhere, right? There's no housing. The closest housing is all the way over here, right? And you are seeing some traffic come through here, but honestly, if you look at most of the people who work here, I bet that they live in completely different areas of the city. So something to keep in mind is if you're having trouble getting your employees up or your workers up, right, in a certain space, give them better public transportation or faster transportation. Hugely important point. I actually don't think I've ever watched that go all the way through. There's the little coffin and everything. Wow. You are clipping through the on-street parking. I don't want to kind of call you out there, but okay, well then. And we just had that house upgrade. Awesome. Okay, so sorry, back to what I was saying. I want to talk a little bit about Find It and some of the Find It settings you might not know about. So back when we were building this space, we were watching Yumble work in his mixed-use housing, and he pulled up a lot of assets that were made by a fantastic asset creator named Smileys, right? So first thing, this should be obvious. It seems obvious, but I hadn't really thought of it before, is one of the attributes that you can search on is the creator of an asset. So if I do that, all of a sudden, I can see all of the stuff that Smileys has published that I've downloaded. So everything from this silver maple tree. Let's see, can we just throw a quick tree in here for proof of concept? Actually, let's throw a nice little line of trees in here, right? Just to make sure the tennis balls don't get too close, right? And there's something I can hold here. I don't know. Is it shift? I don't know what it is, but there is something you can hold where you can actually increase the spacing or decrease the spacing. So I clearly don't know everything quite yet. But I wanted to really, there we go, increase this spacing here. Let's get a nice row of trees right there. So those are assets created by Smiley. But the other great thing you can do with this is actually, if I pull this back up, is the ability to see what you've used and what you haven't used. And that would be so useful for us. Remember how we were just kind of plopping all these and we're like, I don't know what I've used, what I haven't used. I'm just going to kind of throw some stuff down, right? There's an easy way to fix this. I thought it might have been a separate mod, but it's actually not. So if you go up here to this little menu bar, and I think you have to make sure the menu bar is enabled itself. But if you go up to this kind of custom menu bar here, you see a few options. You can clear the search box. You can select the type of thing that you're finding. You can select custom assets only or vanilla assets only. But if you go over here, you can refresh your display. You can actually locate assets, which is really cool. But what I want to look at is actually not the custom tag panel or the extra filters panel, but the quick menu. So if you pop this up, check this out. Right down here, show the number of existing instances of each asset. You can actually then sort by used or unused assets. So if we wanted to go through Smiley stuff and say, only show me the stuff that we haven't used, if I say show unused assets at the top, now all of a sudden, when we're trying to go through here and do our mixed use, all the stuff we've already used is now at the bottom. So you can see like something like, this asset, this brick condo corner, we've used this twice, right? And that's helpful to know. Or the modular apartments, we use those a lot. I think they look fantastic. But if we wanted to find some other stuff, right? Like for instance, when we start to fill out over here, now we can go over here and say, look at all the stuff that we didn't use. So something like this, if we could actually fit this in here somewhere, and it looks like we may not be able to do that. Well, actually here, it'll fit maybe like right there. That could be kind of cool. Actually like that a lot. Put in something like that, then we can kind of see immediately what we have, what we've used, and where we could potentially put some other things, right? So I think that's a huge help for me. I'm gonna actually set this back to original sorting option because it kind of messes with my head a little bit if it's not a specific situation. But definitely check this out. Show the number of existing instances for each asset. It's right in the settings menu. Find it. Again, it's probably something that's super obvious to most of you. I just hadn't really thought to look for it. I was looking for like a separate mod. I had no idea how to find it. So definitely something that I would point out for folks. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on today is really just kind of beautifying a little bit in this space. We kind of left this little area half finished, and I want to fix that. So let's go in and kind of see what some of these assets can really do in this space. And I specifically want to call out, Biffa had a great video earlier this week where he showed off some of these assets right here from Vilgard 9D2. These look so great. I don't know if you're able to actually see them. Let me pop a few up just kind of on the side so you can kind of see what we're working with, but they're so nice. There's a ton of great options here. There's a lot of really like narrow options, all sorts of fun things. I don't know why that's kind of giving me a hard time. You can see there's like some really cool stuff here, and even some larger stuff. So look at all this different stuff. It's really detailed. It looks great, and it really helps move people into different spaces. So we could grab some of these, for instance, and put something like well, not there, but maybe like right here, and that's a great passageway to get through here. We can kind of connect this up just with our little road here, and you can go straight through. So now you have this connection point right here. Let's see, maybe we want to throw on just a little bit of mixed use right there. Then we can go right into the corner, maybe just throw a little food truck over here, So I think there's so much opportunity with these little carts and with these little opportunities, these little spaces rather, right? I don't know what I'm saying at this point. They're not carts. I'm selecting carts, but there are a ton of opportunities for these gardens. Oh my gosh, look at that. Everyone's already having a great time. That dog living its best life. You gotta love it. And they just look gorgeous. They're a great like transition period here, and especially for an area like this where if you kind of look at the back, this is like a little boring, right? But this gives it a little bit of pop. It's definitely something to look at. So let's actually go ahead and just put a few trees right in here. We're gonna have to turn prop anarchy on, I believe, to get this to work. And let's just right there. I wanted a little bit more color. What does this look like? All right, shrubs. Oh, okay. Apparently that's not gonna work. I think we have to maybe equip place blocked items as well. Let's see if this works. No, okay. Not in the cards for me today. So we'll see how this goes. We turn prop anarchy back off. Look at all these people running into their building here. I'm actually going to grab this building and move it a little bit closer to the road. I want this to line up a little bit more with the street. This is going to give us a little bit more space along here too. Hey, our trees appeared back up. So they were just kind of getting blocked by the building. This one has a little bit of a large footprint for the modern mid-rise condo here. So just something to keep in mind. Let's go see what else we can place. I really like this one too. I'm wondering, can we fit this in? Well, here, let's actually grab it anarchically and see if we can move this. Oops. See if we can move this over here, because I think this would work perfectly right in here. Yeah, look at that. All right, and then we'll just kind of bring this path back out again. I wish we could just kind of stretch this ourselves a little bit longer, but I think that's okay. We'll just throw anarchy on here. And then actually, let's maybe center this a little bit just so it doesn't look quite so funky here. Do something like that. And then we'll just bring on the other side, whoops, our little pathway over here too. And again, this is just predicated on me actually finding the right way to do this. Too much clipping or snapping for my taste. It still does that. Okay, well, we'll go in and fix this ourselves, I guess. There we go. It did kill one of the trees, but I think that's okay. Can we wiggle this around a little bit so our tree comes back? There we go. You know what? I'm not going to notice. That's not going to bother me. So I'm not too worried about it. But again, huge use in the park already. And they look awesome. Just huge shout out to the maker of these mods. I think they look so nice. Let's see if we can put this one like right along here, you know? This one actually fits perfectly in here, you'll note. And again, maybe we just kind of nudge it a little bit to the side. We just put a row of trees on each side, right? So it's just like simple beautification stuff like this. I think this is something that, you know, I will say City Planner does a fantastic job of this. And it's not something that's really been my forte in the game, personally, I'll say. It's just not something like detailing like this is not something that I've ever felt I was good at or something that I enjoyed. But I have to say, he's totally right in the sense that this makes places look way more realistic. You know, like you really kind of start to understand this is like a lived-in place. And I mean, this looks awesome. Like I would love to live here, have access to all these public amenities, have this court or this water park right here. You have a bunch of public space. You have retail opportunities. Like I think what we're doing is creating like a pretty unique looking community. You're right next to the farmer's market, although admittedly that might not be the safest place. I don't know. What is going on here? Multiple problems. What is your issue? You have no customers. That is problematic. There we go. We have fixed the problem, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see if we can place a few more of these. Where would these fit? Well, maybe something right along here. I think that's going to be a little bit too long to fit there. Yeah, we'd have to go. Oh no, we still have anarchy on. That is not going to work out for us. And that's not long enough there either. Okay, so we'll pull that back. I would like to see, I wonder if we can fit this in, or if it's going to feel, I think it's going to feel a little too ham-fisted because we'd have to put it somewhere in this neighborhood park or this dog park. Although, let's actually move this out for just a second. I'm just going to pop this up here. I want to see, would this actually fit in here? And the answer is no, it would not. Hey, level 5 with Empire Farms. Awesome. We finally have the large grain silo. I've been waiting for that for a while. So I'm very happy to see that. We put that back there. We'll actually put this right back as well. I think it was facing probably that direction. Yeah. All right, let's hook our path back up as well. We need to curve that a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. I should have known better, right? Should have known. Actually, let's have one more path coming back down here too. I think that kind of makes sense. Connect it on that side as well. There we go. Wow. Look at everyone just walking around, enjoying this space. Fantastic. We are so close. Oh my gosh. Can we fit in just like one more building in here that's going to take us to that next level? Let's see what else we have in here that we have not used. Mixed use corner residential. Do we have a corner we can fit this into? That's a little bit too big. All these are a little bit too big, but like right here, I think if we flip this around, you can kind of see it, not that way, but this way. I think that's the way to go. Let's see, what is this building here? It's a corner shop. Let us actually, okay, I see how that works. All right, so let's actually pull that corner shop out. Is that zoned underneath it? It's not zoned. Okay, so that is a little bit of an issue though, is our building is floating in the air. So let's pull that down. All right, make sure it's not clipping. There we go. And then let's just kind of sneak it right up on the corner. There we go. Okay, so now what we're seeing is this police building doesn't really fit in too much with this neighborhood anymore. I think that's okay. Let's see what else we can find that might kind of fit in well here. Maybe this modern condo, can we kind of crush that in a little bit? I really like that look sometimes where you just kind of move things around. That actually, That works pretty well, though. I think the real standout here now is the police department. What other police department options do we have that might look a little bit more modern? This police headquarters. Actually, so let's turn anarchy off. Just want to place that really quickly, see what that looks like. I think that maybe fits this area a little bit better than this police station. So let's see, can we fit this in somewhere along here? It's going to give me a hard time, aren't you? So let's leave that there. Let's bring this one around instead. Let's move this. Actually, I really like it there, but all right, let's move this over here instead. We'll flip this all the way around. So there we go here. Perfect opportunity for a path in between this block. Now let's bring our police station over here. Can we fit this anywhere along here? All right, well, we're going to make it work because I believe in us. Let's see. So right now it's clipping. We bring it just over here, push it up just a little bit. I mean, that does work from the standpoint of does it fit in? And we do have people walking along through here. I think we can make that work. And let's actually bring this path. Let's bring a path through here. Just kind of right there. And then I think right over there. There we go. So now theoretically, I think people could walk right around through there. And let's nudge this just a little bit over. Okay. You know what? We had to do kind of our very best here, but I think that is going to work. I think our last stop is just a little bit of beautification on this corner. Maybe see if we can just get kind of something interesting looking on this corner. That's way too big, yeah. Sometimes it's tricky. A lot of these assets are a little bit more custom. Let me see if I can find something. Anything in our... Nope. Maybe just a nice little kind of... I don't know what this is. Is this like a gazebo or something? I can't really... Yeah, just like a little gazebo, right? We'll put a tree or two over here. Oh, maybe a fountain. That looks nice. Have a little fountain. Let's move our gazebo back. So anyone wants to come, hang out by the police station, you are more than welcome to do so. You can hang out with this little gazebo here too. Put a few trees in. Okay. Bring a nice little color to this area too. So now we've solved our police problem. This building is upgrading. That's interesting. Let's see what this upgrades to. I'm kind of curious. What is this going to look like? All right, well, that's definitely going the wrong direction. But it continues. Okay, I see. So it still upgrades into a similar building. That's good to know. Very good to know. Cool. All right, so we are so close on this population gain. Let's see if we can get there just in the next few minutes. Okay, it looks like we're not going to quite hit it. We are close, but no cigar. So I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. If you found these tips useful, please let me know. I'm happy to kind of try to scour for a few more. If you know someone who plays, who hasn't heard of these, please feel free to share the knowledge. I think these are some things that, at least for me, have always been a little bit, I don't want to say embarrassing, but you kind of get the sense that, people already know this kind of stuff. So like, what's the point of even spending time to tell people? And I'm kind of sitting over here going like, well, I played this game for a really long time and I still did not know these things. So I personally find it really helpful to just be able to kind of get a little bit of knowledge in something that seems obvious that I just don't know. So, if you have any other questions or any other things you notice that some of your favorite YouTubers are doing that you haven't been able to figure out, or you're just kind of like curious as to how that works, let me know. Comment down below and we'll kind of give it a shot, see if we can figure it out together. I'm here to learn and hopefully share what I've learned. So let's do it. As always, if you've liked this video, feel free to actually like the video, right? I always appreciate that. And if you're digging where we're going with Sunset Falls and you want to kind of see where we're going in the future, then feel free to subscribe to this channel. Once we hit 28,000, we are going to be in a pretty great place. And I'm looking forward to hitting that milestone. We have some big plans for the city. And I hope that you'll join me as we continue building. So thank you so much again, and I will catch you next time.